Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantel Francis. As usual, up top, we have Michele joining us today as our co-host. What's going on, Michele?
Oh, my brain is just whirling. Like my world, I don't even know what to say. I'm feeling all sorts of things, but what a freaking episode.
What a freaking episode. And we have Fanta, as usual, coming in from underneath. How you doing today, Fanta?
I'm also, my brain is kind of like jumbled and conflicted. But overall, great app.
Great app. And like, what's really funny about this episode, I'm not really spoiling anything here, but like usually on the last, like when I get to the lair, and if I'm on the last page, I'm not going to start a brand new page to talk about like what happens on the lair. So I started like writing here, and then should I write up here, then writing up here, like so much, like a full page's worth of notes happened after I thought that I wasn't going to be making any more notes on the lair, just like writing maybe who the new partners were going to be. So you know it's a good episode when I run out of space on my page, you know? So we have Sophie already congratulating you that your team did not take a hit this week and just got lots and lots of points. We all got some points this week.
We all got quite a few points, and let me say, I wrote every point down. I have.
Yes. Okay, good. Yes.
Okay,
As they come up as well, just make sure, like, in case, like, I didn't think about them, we will, just verify all the points that we think are deserving, because some fights, they start and then they continue again. Is that just 5 points, or is that like a bigger fight point?
It depends.
All right. So perfect. Hi, Jessica. Thanks for being here. Hi, y'all. Fessy showed his rump again. He doesn't want us to like him, right? Like, is that what it is?
He's like, they don't hate me enough. What else can I do? What else can I do? And
Literally.
you know what? This episode made me realize that I love to hate the people more than I love to love the people that I love. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I should be so upset with this episode, with the way it turned out, but because because I got justice for what fucking went down, I actually feel great about that. So it's like this weird thing.
I'm in that same weird place, and Fanta's nodding. She's there with us.
No, I agree. Like this, I was sad about things that happened this episode, but I was very happy with ultimately how it ended, because
F you, Fessy.
Looking forward more to the coming episodes.
Worried, but yes, looking forward to them. Hi, Sam. Yes, all the episodes have been good. This last episode would probably be the weakest, I think, if I'm putting them in order. I can't remember. But this one was definitely probably number 2, because like I was feeling the feels. Now, I'm wondering if we should add another point category, and that being tears. Like some actual tears. Because there were a lot of tears in this episode that we don't usually see on the challenge. And I'm wondering if that should be some points as well.
Well, I think mostly all of the tears that happened in this episode, except for like one instance, were very much rooted in fights. So they go with fight points anyway. You know what I mean? Like fights of passion. There's only one I can think of that was like not an actual fight, but there was tears. So I feel like all the people who cried in this episode got points one way or another.
Okay, fine. I agree with you, but maybe moving forward, we could take a look at if tears comes into play.
Yeah.
No.
Minus points for crying. No crying and fighting.
Oh my God.
So maybe 19 episodes won't be so bad. Well, it's going to get boring near the end. But I'm still here for it. Episode 4, doing well, titled Messy. Now, I wasn't sure what they meant by this, but by the end, it was very clear why it was called Messy.
That's so funny. I knew. I
thought about it because we saw the preview, but it wasn't as obvious as they usually are with their titles. They've gotten a little bit better, a little bit more discreet. So, hi Dan, wants to know, does Michele get points for Bettina and Fessy hooking up even though they didn't air it?
Whoa!
What?
Whoa. Okay, first of all, no. Until we see proof, That's no points for me, unfortunately. But what?
Where are you coming with this info?
That's actually fucking hilarious. He is just a disaster. He's messy. He's so messy.
Some would say messy.
It's okay. I did get some other hookup points this episode, so.
Me too. I think we all got hookup points too.
You know, and I got so many fight points this episode. So.
Yeah, I want to know actually who got the most points for this particular episode. That I would like to know. Well, I want to know the numbers. Okay, I want to know all like the exact numbers. Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
For sure.
If there's no interruption, the season will end sometime in December. Yeah, probably. This show. It's so silly. Hi, Jose. So I was really upset Michele felt she was the last Survivor person left in the game. I mean, it's really hard to come into a show from another show and she knows about targets. It's very easy for people to gang up and have a common enemy. And so she knows the type of games that she's playing. So I don't think that she felt as bad as maybe somebody else that's never played one of these games before.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean,
she's talking about you, maybe, because that's maybe.
No, it says. I think that they meant to say left instead of felt.
Gotcha.
No, but I think Michele felt sad. She was last.
She was last survivor in the game. That's what I thought, but or
either
Michele
way,
left.
Sad face. I love Survivor people, especially after last week when I lost so many people, and she was my last hope. But she really had a good showcase this episode, and I do believe that she's definitely someone who they will hopefully bring back. I mean, she shows a lot of drive and motivation, and she kind of did everything in her short time.
I was just kind of giving them praise of being a little bit more discreet in their episode titles. But the first thing that they show with like the previously on is Amber B coming out being like, the champ is here. I'm like, that was from episode 1 or 2. Like, if they're showing that again, I feel like she's going to have an important role in this episode. So I put a little pin in it, a little star beside that line, and I was actually proven right, which is interesting. So everybody's talking about how the vets are going to have to turn on each other. Did you think that this was going to happen yet?
I did, just based on the preview of the fight. I thought something was going to happen, but also I wasn't quite sure. I thought there was a good chunk of the episode where I thought, you know what, this is a lot of talk, and they're going to keep it safe for one more week before it really explodes. So I wasn't like 100% sure, but I definitely was like Fessy wanted to target Amber week 2, so it's like,
so annoying. So 2 out of the 3 layers have been, Cory has been called down. And so he's really expecting that he's going to be another casualty of this, if he doesn't win, him and Michele are most likely going down. They mentioned that like our teams, so rookie teams are going to be first to be targeted, and then rookie vet teams are going to be split up. I mean, it's kind of similar. Fanta, are you watching or both of you, are you watching Big Brother right now?
Yes, but I think I'm 2 episodes behind.
I'm a Feedster updater reader.
No, perfect. No, my point is they seem to be adopting the cookout strategy or the brigade strategy, where it's kind of like the vets all have their +1 that's a rookie that they can easily get rid of and drop, and then gain another vet potentially, or a stronger rookie moving forward. So I was noticing that it was a similar strategy that was going on, like get out the rookies, which is kind of like everybody that's not in the cookout, and then all the cookout has their like +1s, which is like half of the vets that have a rookie attached to them, and now they can get rid of those people, and then all the vets can just pair up and be together. So I found it interesting that it was playing out in the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. So Logan and Big T, no real points there yet. We have been, watching them a little bit. There was a moment where they were dancing in a club scene last week or the week before. What do you think about this pairing? Do you think that we're going to get a little smoochy?
Love it. I'm obsessed.
They're hot.
I feel like Big T needs to have like the full challenge experience, and she's been well overdue for a hookup. So I can't wait to see how this unfolds.
I'm into them. I don't know. I was confused by his confessional. I'm like, is he not interested, or he's obviously at least interested to a certain degree? I love the combination, and I hope they have a hookup.
Yeah, I think that he might be like finding his words a little bit, and so I don't know if he's fully expressing himself exactly what he needs to say, because I don't know if you want to be like, yeah, I know that she loves looking at my beautiful body, like, or whatever he said was something like that. You're like, okay, like, but it translated might sound a little bit weird in English, but it might sound a little more beautiful or poetic in Spanish. So I'm going to give him a pass on not being able to articulate himself as well in English, and as, like, you know, romantic. I would love to see them together, though. I think that they're very gorgeous people that, like, would look very gorgeous together. So he doesn't have to hang out with her. They're not partners. So he makes time to be with them and with her, which is, I think, very promising for at least a solid friendship. It looks like he likes being around her and vice versa, obviously. So I am watching that relationship. Absolutely. So this is the first time we see in this episode Josh talking to Fessy about not targeting Amber. Why? What is wrong with Fessy? Like, why does he really feel that he can't work with Amber B? Like, I actually don't understand.
I am confused as well. My thought process is this. He obviously is super bitter that she won and that he had such an embarrassing final performance after all that shit, right? She was friends with them the whole time, and then he was an asshole to her when they were partners, just like he was an asshole to everyone. And I think she's just that reminder to him that he's inadequate because she sees through his shit. And to him, he just needs to have that one up. I feel like he can't get over that. Like, he's acting like it's some strategic move, but it's actually the dumbest thing in the world to be the first person to go against the rookie plan. Like, it's actually the dumbest thing ever. And so that tells me that it's a very emotional based decision and ego-based decision. Now, where I'm confused is with Kaycee. And we'll get into it a little bit more, but, like, even at the beginning stages, she was saying, like, yeah, like, obviously Amber's at the bottom of this Big Brother thing. Like, if she wants to be a part of it, sure, but, like, I can't trust her. It's like,
why?
What did she do to make Kaycee not trust her? Like,
I think it's because they're untrustworthy. So they are completely projecting that they're shitty people and they would turn their back on them. And so they're projecting, like, well, if we would turn our back on her, that she must be as shitty as we are.
Well,
and we're gonna do the same.
Because last season, like, the reason that Amber stopped talking to Fessy and to Kaycee, she claims, is because she saw all the shit they said on the show, which was like, oh, she's at the bottom, like, it doesn't really matter, like, blah, 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 blah. But then Kaycee's, like, saying the same thing again, when the reality is that, like, Kaycee's the one that went against her. So, like, what they don't trust seems to be the fact that they already screwed her over, and she knows that they did that. So they just believe that, like, logically she should want revenge. But the truth is that she's actually way nicer than them and actually was willing to work with them again and squash it to at least get to a certain point. And
go ahead.
I don't know. The whole Kaycee thing just confuses me.
Yeah, I think ego is a massive, massive, massive component. And it also just creates a sense of discomfort for Kaycee and for Fessy. Because the longer that Amber's in that game, like, the more information can kind of come out about last season. And it just makes them feel uneasy. It makes them feel uncomfortable. And that's why you could just literally see this itch with Fessy where he's like, got to get rid of Amber, like, got to get rid of her. And can't really explain why, which we know, yes, it's ego. Yes, it's pride, the fact that she's won and he hasn't. But also just the fact that Amber can say anything. And that's why they, like, Kaycee will keep using that excuse of, like, oh, it's trust. But it's like, it made me laugh so much in the confessional when, like, Amber was like, oh yeah, like, this is great. Like, I'm so glad there's finally trust here. And, like, with Amber, like, yeah, it is pretty much what you see is what you get, but they have so much shit going on in their heads that they can't take a step back and realize that.
Yeah, so that came after. So Kaycee and Amber were talking, and she looked so good in her confessionals. I was like I know she's obviously a gorgeous woman, but like when I saw her confessional look, I was like, oh my gosh, she looked gorgeous. Like so beautiful. Anyways, I did write down that she looked gorgeous, so I wanted to mention that for sure. So Amber, though, she's like, I feel like she does come across as honest when she's talking to Kaycee. She does really wants to squash this. She wants to work with them, and she's willing to let bygones be bygones. And like you said, she really feels as though this was, bridging that gap and like making them being able to work together. She's forgiven them for how they treated her last season. And the fact that Kaycee's not actually forgiving her for the fact that she was upset by how she was treated by Kaycee and Fessy, I was just like, Kaycee, I was liking you because you're dating Nany now, but this made me really remember why I wasn't a fan of yours. And I was like, no, the fact that you're still all in on Fessy after last season, he made you like break your leg, and you still are riding so hard for this, in my opinion, loser.
Yeah, it's so confusing that she still wants to work with him. Like he was a bad partner to Nany as well. Like, why are you still working with him? Like, with Josh, I kind of get it because he like pulls the heartstrings and he like has these real friendships, and you kind of feel bad for the guy because he's kind of like, you know what I mean? Not, it's just a bit of a different thing. Like, I kind of understand why people continue to be friends with him because the way he is. But like with Fessy, I just don't get it. I do not get it.
I don't get it either. It's I don't know. I just like, I don't know. I can't stand Fessy so like at all. So Natalie, hi Natalie, says this Fessy versus Josh beef is fake. Now, what are your thoughts maybe around Josh, who loves to find a storyline, like being like, let's create this whole Amber B drama so we get some airtime?
Well, I can see that. I can see, and I mean, maybe if people feel as though, because I just saw another thing, like apparently they were hanging out after the season. Maybe they just made up. I don't know. Or I mean, yeah, if they put it on, but I don't think like in regards to like where Amber comes into play, like that doesn't strike me as fake.
Oh, Fessy and Amber have been hanging out?
No. I'm just saying, like, in terms of like the drama of the episode.
I know, but what Natalie says here, this Fessy versus Amber beef is fake. They've been hanging
out.
Oh
shit, sorry, I thought that's a Josh.
Well, the other one said Josh, so it's both. So maybe it's all planned. Like all three of them.
I don't know. I don't know if they're that good of actors. I mean,
yeah.
I just don't understand why would it be a plan? Hey, I'm going to throw you in with a seemingly shitty partner. Like, that can't be part of the plan. Like, I don't think for Amber it was part of the plan. Maybe with Josh and Fessy, like maybe Josh always plays up that shit, which we know he does. But I also know that Josh always forgives people too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're smart enough to think of this drama, to be honest. Like, maybe the fight was real in the moment, but they've made up for it after the fact. Like, it's been 6 months since this fight has happened. So, like, I would really hope that you can get over it, and maybe one of them won. So it's a lot easier to get over it when you win $1 million or $500,000. So, I mean, I can see it being fake, but I just also don't see them being that smart. So
yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, that's difficult for me to wrap my head around, that they could put that all together and make it look believable.
So true. Hi, Nicole. Thank you for being here. Okay, so Whitney's in the house. Hi, Whitney. So Fessy hooking up with a random rookie who's petite and pale. Unheard of. Yes, he's always going to be hooking up with a rookie because, like, it makes him feel like he's like has a big, because he's like the big man on campus and he's a vet and people don't know that he actually sucks. I know Whitney is back. Let the snark begin. Yes, we've seen Whitney in Big Brother podcast, but we haven't seen her back in the challenge, I don't think. So this is the first time she's back this season. So thank you for being here. Him. Sorry. Him. I meant to say him, but I was just looking at the name in the picture. Him. Sorry. True that. So how do we feel about Gabo and Emy being targeted next? I don't care.
Who cares?
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care about them. Truly.
Gabo says like a total of 6 words every episode.
And then tap Nany on the forehead.
Yeah, it's very just like, And then with Emy, like, she annoys me, but I'm interested to see how she performs, like, with her back against the wall, because she does perform well under pressure. So
we'll see. I mean, I don't really have any faith, and I don't have any care that much for whether they stay or they go. If they take somebody out, cool, but whatever. It's nice to have a target. So even though we want to see the bloodbath of the vets, it's also, I don't mind them leaving the game, so it won't be that painful of an episode. High Red is not a flavor. So should Champion Amber be considered a vet if this is only her sophomore season? She also won the game.
Yeah, I would consider her a vet. I mean, I know that like our typical terminology around it is more so around multiple seasons, but I would say like a vet of maybe not strategically, just because of this
positioning, even.
Yeah, this whole thing that happened. But I would consider her to be a vet.
Yeah, and also I think it's like normally for me, it's like if you've done 3 seasons, like if you're on your 3rd season, I consider you closer to a vet. But if you've won, that means you've made it through an entire challenge and you know what it's like to win. That kind of gets you extra points. It's like you're boosted and you're like learning about the challenge because you've already been through the entire thing and come out the other side victorious. So you know what to do to get, you know what I mean? Like Amber B shows up so far.
She
Absolutely.
does.
And just to like echo what you're saying, Michelle, like I agree. Like I don't consider her a vet in normal standards, but because of what you're saying, like she has been on every single episode last season. Some people that were considering vets haven't been collectively on that many episodes. You know, they get kicked out episode 2, 3 seasons in a row, and they're considered to be a vet. So, you know, I think that the fact that she's been through the entire arc of a season and winning, I think it bumps her up in status, vet status a little bit, like more than if who was out first, like what's her name? I can't remember her name. Tanya? No. Tracy. Like if she came back again and goes out second, and then the 3rd time she comes back, I would think that Amber B would be more of a vet than her coming back 3 times and going out second episode 2 times in a row, you know? So the only thing that's different though is that she didn't get to meet new people. So that's one thing that is an advantage, is playing with new personalities, knowing a few different people and having a different kind of vibe of the game, so that she doesn't get as many points in, we'll say, for experience. But in general, I think I'd consider her be a vet as well. Nicole, though, is finding that the bets beating up on the rookie is getting old, but you know, that's the game.
So this is a thing though, because there's always this thing where the challenge community complains about this, right? It's either the thing of like people aren't going after the rookies enough, like the old days, and the vets aren't sticking together, or beating up on the rookies is old.
It's true, because we were saying when Cam was like coming for the vets too early, we're like, no, like don't go into vets, like beat up like rookies. We don't want you to take out the vets right away. And so, yeah, absolutely. We can't really, we're never happy.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm never happy, so I feel you. I would say as a general rule, in the early seasons, back when I was like back in the day of like Kenny and Evan and stuff, it always bothered me that the rookies would get beat up on and like always put in first. Like that would piss me off that the same people would get put in, like Wes again and again or whatever. Like I remember being annoyed by that as like a viewer from the beginning, but as it went on and I had my faves, then it turns, and then I'm like, I want to make sure the vets stay for a while because I want better TV for longer.
Mm-hmm.
And now that's how I feel now. Now I feel I'm like happy. Like I want the rookies to go out. But when you've got an epic rookie like a Michele or a Natalie from last season or a Jay or whatever, then yeah, I love an underdog story. And if they're entertaining and they're great, yeah, I want to see them go all the way.
Well, and also though, there was at least equal, or maybe even more rookies than vets. So I wish that they had just done their homework a little bit and realized that they needed to get together and stick together and maybe do some training, because like they actually haven't been winning competitions. So like it's hard for them to have power and make a move if they don't win stuff. But I wish they came a little bit better prepared, to do this. They should have been thinking about like really hard who they're going to be paired up with. They had an opportunity to see everybody's dossier and like kind of plan something strategic. Like it's definitely advantageous for them to be not just paired with an American, paired with a vet that's had many seasons, that's seen multiple finals, that where it's going to be good at some of the social politics of the game. So I'm also blaming the rookies a little bit for allowing themselves to be in this situation a little bit, because they could have done a little bit to put up a little bit of resistance,
Yeah, I mean, but again, then it's a double-edged sword because they're rookies. They don't know better. They're not looking at the bigger picture and going, hey, we should stick together.
At least not enough of them are, right?
Yeah.
Like, how can you trust a group of people when you're all new? You have a partner who's a vet telling you, don't worry, I got your back. Like, not everyone is going to go with it. They were never going to have the majority from the beginning. That would be really hard to do.
Absolutely. But this is also why it gets really easy for the vets just to like steamroll them, because it's like, oh, they don't know how to play, and they're just like anybody but me strategy. This like, can I make it the furthest? And that's just how the rookies tend to play. And so unless the rookies start watching seasons and training and being prepared to come on the show and having a game plan and wanting to execute something, like they're always going to be steamrolled in this situation. And unless a vet decides to gather up all the rookies and like build a resistance.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, what Devin's kind of doing. But speaking of Devin and Kyle, what do you think of Dial? Did you like their merged image?
Nope. That was really freaky. I mean, hats off to the editors. They're really going above their pay grade. But
that was like Big Brother styles, when you have those like face morph comps.
Yeah, that was freaky. I never want to see Dial again.
Dial, I mean, they're my favorite duo, though. You love Dial? Oh, the actual person Dial you want to see again. I like Dial.
I never want to see that person Dial. The love child of Kyle and Devin. I never want to see that again.
So the daily today is undercover comms. So basically one partner is like hanging upside down and they have to see some Morse code that has a number. So there's 3 different Morse codes with like a ... dash, whatever. And it's going to be 3 different numbers that they have to use their walkie-talkie to tell their partner who's going to find the code, find the number, and release a bomb. I thought it was a very good challenge, but it was hard to follow, really. I did my best that I could, but what did you guys think about this challenge?
I had issues following. I was like, where is the Morse code? Is it like bits of it broken up? I didn't like this challenge.
Like, I thought it had elements of being quite good.
I thought it was stupid.
Okay, why?
And because I equally did not see where I was like, okay, so they can go in any order and tell them all the names of the codes, but then it's like, okay, then they run and like, okay, 2 is like dash, circle, dash, circle, or whatever. Then they come back and put that number in, like the 5 or whatever. But then it's like, how many, like, how do they know which one for each, like, for which law?
I think there might have been a color code. So like on like when the partner that's on the ground goes to find like the dash, I feel like I can relook in a second, but I feel like there was a color on it. And so that you would look at your 3 bombs and you know that code related to that color bomb. And then you put in that one number, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this challenge sucked.
I mean, we
Like,
should
to have to like talk so much to like get an idea of like what it was about. Like, it was just boring and like.
And then the dropping of their teams could have been an interesting element, right? But I couldn't really tell who was doing well, so it didn't.
Yeah,
really
you couldn't
matter.
tell at all. And like in the second heat, when they were like, okay, whoever's, because it was mostly vets in the second heat, whoever's doing the best, like just let them win. Was their agreement? You couldn't tell at all. You're like, oh well, who? And the funny thing was, neither could they. They had no idea. They were just like, oh, like, I don't know who to put the bomb into, like this person, I guess. So that's why it was like all very understandable that Kyle put the bomb into Devin's.
Well, okay, I feel like when Josh first, because he was in the first heat, Josh decides to pull down Big T, right? And Jeremiah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. He was the very first bomb.
Yeah.
And he explained his logic behind it. Like, everyone's going for Michele and Cory anyway. They're not going to win anyway. Like, I don't trust Big T. I'm going to do that. So but the problem is that, like, why, by him doing that, once again, it's the same story where he's building distrust by doing something disloyal to her when she has never done anything actually outwardly towards him or even sneakily about him. Like, she's never been out to get him. She's never been someone that he can't trust. Like, nothing. The only person she's ever voted in is Tori, and he's not even, like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm thinking he's worried. He's not worried about her retaliating. I think that's what it is.
I agree. Like, that she won't be able to.
But I don't know why. Was he just scared, like, to do Michele, like, and get them mad at them in case that they go down and come back, and then Josh has like laid out the first hit?
I mean, that could also potentially be it, but I thought that maybe it was because he assumed someone else was gonna, because he obviously didn't want Cory and Michele to win, because that would have been fucked. Because then who do they vote in?
So CT ends up actually sabotaging Michele and Cory. Josh then does CT and Berna. Ashley does Nelson and Priscilla, getting a little bit of revenge there, which she enjoyed. I enjoyed that as well. Why are you laughing? What's wrong, Fanta?
Mess right now. Ashley's totally freaking me out, you guys. Like, I love her, but I'm like, I want you to win again. Stop doing this.
She's not winning this season. You know that.
There's no way.
It's impossible. Yeah, poor Ashley. She's so messy. Amber and Josh win heat number 1, as you guys mentioned. So that's when you like the plan is whoever's winning, let them win. So Devin hits Gabo, and Nany's kind of pissed off about that. Then Kyle does Devin and Emy, which is what is the beginning of some contention between Devin and Kyle. And now everybody's confessional is Kyle's a snake, Kyle's a snake, Kyle's a snake, Kyle's a snake, Kyle's a snake.
Yeah.
I hated this. This was where the wheels fell off for me in the episode, and I was getting super annoyed.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I was very annoyed about the confessionals. For Nelson to call anyone a snake is a joke. Because he, like, come on. But also, I didn't think it was a smart move for Kyle to do, because regardless of anything, if you know that this person's your number 1, just do someone else, anyone else, like anyone else. But I also see the logic of, oh, like, well, it doesn't matter anyway, and Michele and Cory are already out, or whatever. Like, why don't I just, like, who cares? And he wanted to win in the moment. Like, I didn't think it was that big of a deal for them to, like, freak out in that way. But it is interesting that Kyle always gets into these positions. Am I right? Like, it's never always intentional, but there always comes a time where he fucks over the people that he promises everything to. And he'll just do anything to save his own ass, which I think is good gameplay. Like, he always is out for number 1 himself. And people seem to get so mad about that. And at the end of the day, like, it's a game. Like, what Fessy did in this episode is much worse.
Was much worse. I hated this whole thing, and I hated that it went on for so long. So then I started to get worried because I was like, this is the drama for the episode. They are going to fucking for the whole rest of the episode. I was like, no, this sucks. And I was so annoyed. I was like, there's no other drama. That's why they're doing this. You can tell everyone's doing these half-hearted confessionals. Like Aneesa was like, yeah, like, why the hell did he do that? Like, no, everyone was giving like the lowest energy on these confessionals.
Like, he's your best friend.
Yeah.
Well, what annoyed me though as well was like, okay, Devin, why are you calling Kyle out in front of everybody? Regardless of the fact that he made a stupid snaky move, like, he's working with you. He's not actually he's not trying to get you out. Like, he doesn't want you to leave the game at all. It has nothing. Like, if anything, it's good because it doesn't look like you're working that much together and that you guys are so like a duo that needs to be separated. So the fact that Devin got all emotional and freaking out and calling Kyle stupid in front of everybody, I think is worse for his game than if he just was like reined it in and had a conversation with Kyle after, be like, bro, like, why'd you do that? You made me look so stupid out there. Like, I wanted to win. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't even think about that. I was just trying to win the game. I'm sorry in the moment. Yeah. And it would have been fine, I think.
I agree with that. And it kind of begs the question, because this is what I was saying last week. Like, it's so stupid that the vets are playing this way because then smarter rookies will be able to see these cracks. And that was literally Michelle's confessional today. She was like, these are the perfect cracks. This is what you want to see. This is how we can work with it. But it begs a question, because I saw this thing the other day where people were like, Devin's amazing, but as soon as the cameras go on, he turns into a completely different person. So I was like, was this all just for show? Like, is he just really like pushing this for cameras? Because he can't be that stupid.
I know.
Maybe.
He can't be that stupid. He knows, right? He knows, like, don't do that. Like, all of the rookies are standing there watching this. Like, he can't be that. Devin is not that stupid.
Like, is he trying to put a rift between them to make them think that they have a crack? Because if they have a crack, right, then it would be very obvious who the rookies might be going for, so they can plan some sort of retaliation. So maybe that's why, to make it like an obvious target or obvious enemy. I don't know. I'm grasping here.
It must be that, because Devin is not that stupid.
It seems like so out of character. Like, I know he freaks out and stuff, but usually it's to bother someone else. For him to flip like that in front of everyone just seemed out of character for him.
Yeah, it really did. It really did.
So maybe he's been hanging out with Josh too much, and he's like, let me create a storyline.
I mean,
yeah, because I would say that's contagious.
Well, that thought, the way of thinking in that way, you know?
Yeah.
So, worrisome. So Priscilla's eating popcorn, waiting to see these vets start attacking each other, which obviously we're here for it as well. I didn't want Devin and Kyle though to be going at each other, because like, I like them. I want them to be running the game like behind the scenes, and then nobody sees them coming. But this was a bad showing, I think, for Devin. I haven't figured out fully something that I believe that makes sense as to why he acted that way. I'll have to watch. Maybe he'll say on the after show, the aftermath. I'm going to watch it after this. So the fastest overall time, how annoyed were you that the fastest overall time was Fessy and Esther? 2 out of 4 challenges. They're the agency. What's up, Michelle? You okay?
No. I obviously was very upset. It's upsetting when I'm rooting for Josh to win a daily. I knew in that moment, that his ego was going to go 10 million times bigger than it already was, which we didn't think was possible. But I also knew in that moment, okay, he's going to get in a fight with Josh. He's going to be going for Amber. Like, is he actually going to do it? Is he not going to do it? What's going to happen? But then as he was talking and things were happening, like, I kind of thought, okay, maybe actually not. Maybe they want us to think that he's going to. but he's actually gonna just put in Bettina or something. But also knowing this tea that he was like hooking up with Bettina, that also makes sense. I didn't even think about that till right now. If he was hooking up with Bettina as well,
he wasn't going to be putting her in.
He's not going to put her in. So who else is he going to put in? Berna
Priscilla.
already went in last week. Priscilla
would be the only other person.
Yeah. And who's Priscilla's partner? Nelson.
Oh, he probably wouldn't. Well, I mean,
he probably didn't care, but I think it was more important for Fessy to like do some crazy move. He always does a crazy move too early. He did the exact same thing. He does this every time. Like,
he's not a good player. He doesn't know how to, like, CT is the master of this. He's just waits until it's the right time to make the move, and then he wins. Like, I mean, it's taken him a long time to figure this out because he used to pop off and get himself in trouble, make himself the target, have to go in a gazillion times, and eventually he gets taken out. But he's learned now just to keep his mouth shut, stay in the background, win if you got to win, don't win, like whatever, and not be the target. Fessy just wants to be like, I'm making moves. I'm the guy. I'm the agency. Like, I call the shots. And he doesn't realize that it's not conducive to him winning the game. In my opinion, I think that Fessy will be the first bet, like, that goes down into the, well, you know, like specifically going down into the lair. I think that they're going to come for him. They're going to come for him quick. They have to, right?
And so far, let's think about this. Like the challenge, the elimination of tonight's episode, he could have won or lost that. It might have been hard for him to maneuver. Like
so
there's
big.
a lot of these eliminations that I don't think he would necessarily nail. We just got to get him in when it's not a freaking hall brawl. He has never done a different elimination. He's done 3 hall brawls in his career. 3. He hasn't done anything else.
He did the pole one with Jordan, but
similar.
Yeah, but that was not even a thing. Like, come on.
That's not, yeah.
Well, has CT even done 3 hall brawls? It's like, I don't even think he's done 1.
He's done hall brawl, I think.
All of the like the older, like the OG guys avoid doing hall brawls.
Yeah.
Because
because when did it start? The duel? So it's been around for a while, but remember, like you said, Fanta, it used to be a treat. Like, oh my gosh, they're gonna be doing hall brawl. Like, we're always just like so surprised when it comes around because it's not all the time, not like Fessy's experience.
Yeah.
So I don't remember. I can't think of a time where I've seen CT do hall brawl right now. I'm sure he has, but I can't think of it. In the chat, do you guys want to let me know? No idea. So obviously I rolled my eyes there that he has the fastest team. I'm happy that Esther was getting a second win.
Yeah,
like it's great for her. Her rookie season having this experience is really good. I wish she realized how shitty Fessy was, though. She doesn't seem to get it. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later on. So Devin is heartbroken, of course, about this whole Devin thing. And I don't know if he was talking to Nelson, Cory, and Josh, if they're talking amongst themselves, but I'm like Dumb and Dumb and Dumber are all talking about how much Kyle is a freaking snake. And I was just like, don't be going against Kyle now. Just like, I was so irritated that this is their master game plan now. It's like, oh, Kyle's a snake. Let's get him out. Like, that's not strategy, guys. It's not strategy. So annoying. So over them. So they're considering obviously coming for Kyle, and that's like maybe what they should do. And I'm like, that's not the move, guys. But whatever. Club scene was pretty good. Fanta, thoughts?
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, I guess it was just interesting because we see Coriel approaching Fessy and just, you know, he's going into the politics, and it's an interesting way to just go in and say, look, I know we're going in, but how can we make this work? How can we work together so that you give me who I want, and then if and when I win, I make sure that I'm going to win a daily at some point. I make sure that you're not getting thrown in. So I don't know. I just don't like watching anyone strategize with Fessy just because he's a piece of cardboard and it's just not really that interesting anyway. But I do
loved it coming from Cory, though. I was like,
that's the thing. I loved it. I was about to say that. I love it coming from Cory because it's like, okay, he's had to learn very quickly and go, okay, this is how this game is played. He's never played a game like this before. So he's learned so quickly out of all of the rookies besides Michele. He's like, okay, like I've got to figure this out. If I want to win this, I want to stay in this game. So,
well, they obviously had to have had some conversations. So, and like Michelle's probably like, okay, this is what you got to do. We got to get at least, we know we're going in. We need to get who we want at least to give us the best shot at getting in here. And then also giving us some sort of agency moving forward in the game by making some deals with some people if we get what we want and we come back. And so I think it was Michelle's probably urging and coaching, but it was very effective. I thought that Cory L really approached it in a great way. Too bad it was Fessy that he had to be making this deal with. Though. We got some points during this club scene. We see Michele and Emanuel have a little bit of a peckaroo.
Yeah. We get Michele points, 5.
And I get Emanuel 5.
5. We also get Amber gets 5 points and Jeremiah gets 5 points.
Correcto.
Also obviously 5 points for Fessy and 5 points for Esther for the daily win as well.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all the makeouts at that point, right? Yeah.
I think so, yeah. I don't have anything written down.
Yeah.
Who has Amber beat?
I think I do. Yeah, I got her when Lauren ditched.
Okay. Cool.
So, also, though, Devin talks to Josh, and this is where I was like, excuse me, is Josh speaking some facts and some truths to Devin? And actually saying something that I agreed with in a fashion that wasn't making me cringe. I was like, whoa. Because Devin talks about the fact that their best shot against winning is against each other. And like, I can't remember exactly what Josh was saying, but he was speaking truth. And I was very surprised by this. You guys remember this convo?
Yeah, it was really weird to just have a moment and be like, Josh is tolerable this episode.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was weird.
But
I'm happy though to see that he has learned a little bit of how to play this particular game, and I'm very shocked to see that out of the Big Brother Alliance, that I think that he is actually the strongest strategically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know it's hard. It's hard to say. Take as much time as you need.
Like Kaycee is the best at staying calm outwardly and like not making any rash decisions. So she's sound in that way. But what we saw in this episode is a furthermore of like what we already know about her, which is that like she doesn't have good judgment on people, and she also has like ego problems, I think.
Yeah, well, they're both of them. Their only thing is taking out people out of the game. They don't think about positioning themselves better in the game. You know what I mean? So they don't have the full picture on like how to maneuver all the pieces to put them in the best position. They can only see what's in front of them, and they're just like, take out target, but like not thinking like a few moves ahead. So they are checkers players, not chess. Like they are not good at this game. And I can't believe that there's a time now where I can say that Josh is strategically more sound than the rest of the Big Brother players. This is a day. I thought it was interesting also, I think it's still the club scene, where Esther and Fessy were talking, and Esther's like, well, I want reassurance. If we're going to be giving people the opportunity to choose who they want to go up against, and we're going to have to say someone's name, I want some reassurance from every other person that's playing this game that if they win power and they need to choose a rookie to throw on down there, they don't say my name. So that's another person, another rookie that's learning how to play, because you should be getting some reassurance here. Absolutely, Esther. But you're with a pile of garbage named Fessy, and he wants to dump you as soon as he can. Like, he doesn't want you as his partner long term. I don't think he wants to run the final with Esther. I think he probably still wants to run the final with Kaycee. And so the fact that he wasn't even really encouraging her about that, it was just, to me, showing, it should have shown her, but that he doesn't really care about her position as his partner. He could let her have her go. It doesn't really matter to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chances someone that picks him, or like if that happens, like it's going to be someone that's won in the lair, and it could potentially be a better partner. So he's not attached to Esther, even though she's helped him win 2 dailies.
Yeah.
God, he's such a pile of garbage. Okay, so Devin and Kyle finally did have a little bit of a conversation. I wish that they just had this conversation instead of the fight in front of everybody. But I feel like they came to a certain understanding. Devin has to know that Kyle doesn't have anybody. He's kind of a lone wolf, and he's not really turning his back on you. Yes, he made a bad decision in the moment when it didn't actually matter, but I don't know if he would do that to you if in a situation where it did, you know?
Yeah, I don't think he would in a situation that really mattered. I think he does recognize Devin as like his best ally.
And he says he's his best friend. He says this over and over again. And so I would hope that also that would mean that Devin would forgive him quickly. Like,
yeah.
Again, this I don't know. I found it all to be very fraudulent and a waste of footage. It was so stupid. It was so dumb. I was like, this none of this makes sense. It seems very fake.
Yeah, I guess it didn't really matter. And so it's like, why are we having so much airtime over a stupid fight, over something where both of you lost? You would have probably lost against Fessy as well. Like, who cares? Like, it's a vet won, and that's just what it was. So we have the deliberation, and Michele, the politician, speaks up right away. She knows that she's going to be going down, her and Cory. She kind of mentions that, you know, they've already had to go down, prove themselves, and they have come back. So, like, they are rookies. Why don't they have other rookies go down and also prove themselves? Which I understand her point, but then I also understand Ashley's point when she swoops in and she's like, well, I don't necessarily want to go against someone that's really strong, because then I might get taken out, which she had experienced in the past few episodes. So what did you guys think about how, like, this back and forth, you know, Cory and Michele's logic, and then Ashley coming in with devil's advocate with an alternative opinion?
I liked that Michele did, you know, speak up, make herself known, get more airtime, like, spoke well. Obviously had, like, you know, she comes across so genuine and everything, and I think she is. I don't really know why it was necessary to bring that up at that point. If she already knew she was going to be the vote, like, what she was saying was essentially a pitch to Fessy, right? Because they're the ones making the decision. She already knows, and she wasn't even fighting to not get voted in. She was just like, I want to go against someone who hasn't
maybe though like, if somebody else got voted in and then they throw them down, they might have less of a shot. So I think that they were trying to be like, hey, we're the House vote. We get that. Let us have who we want. And I think that that's what her angle was, is just to know what she was going to be going up against, as opposed to, like, say they put down 2 people and then they throw them in and they didn't really get an opportunity to kind of decide their fate a little bit more.
Yeah, but I think she knew they were going to get voted in anyway. So, like, and Cory had already spoken to Fessy about that idea about Hughie and Bettina.
Yeah.
Whatever, so.
I love Michele. She can do no wrong. However, I thought the speech was a little bit unnecessary.
I like this. I like the speech. I like that she's like saying something. Maybe she wanted people to be like, well, what are you saying? Are you saying me, like, really pipe up and, like, really get some more targets or something? And then she could just, like, step back and, like, allow them to be the House vote or something. Like, maybe she was hoping that it would rile some people up. But I don't think it worked, obviously. People were in their confessionals, like Priscilla's like, what are you targeting me? But there's no way that she can get the second target to be on anybody but a rookie. Like, it just was not going to happen. So I think she's just trying to get, when they have the whole group together, everybody can hear their position. And so hoping that would be influential with like getting Fessy and Esther to do what they want.
And I love that she's not afraid to say something. Like, it's very Survivor. It's very Survivor Tribal Council to just be like, yeah, like, I'm going to talk about this thing. And, like, she's not afraid of it. Whereas I think a lot of these other rookies are. And it's true. There's no way she was going to say anything to persuade them to vote in a vet. So her best bet was to just encourage
them to vote in who she wanted to vote in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my question, though, like, I agree with both the logics on both sides as to why they were, for the most part, why they wanted, why they said what they said. But wouldn't you think that Ashley would have preferred to go with Coriel? Like, so, because like if Coriel goes down, takes out Hughie, who he wants, because he was kind of getting upset about the fact that he was kind of insinuating that Hughie should go down and prove himself. But like a better partnership for Ashley would 100% be Coriel. So I'm wondering why she was so upset about this conversation when she could be gaining a better partner. Could be.
I think she just didn't want to get voted in, right? She's fine with him getting selected, but like, and I think she was protective of him until he said, "Oh, I voted for our team last week." Like, I think that's what broke her.
Yeah, man.
Fucking idiot. Like, you're literally sabotaging my game left, right, and center. Like, she just can't catch a break.
It was majestic. So do I get fight points?
Yeah, a lot of us get 5 points. So the 5 points I wrote for this one are
Hughie versus Cory.
Hughie, Cory, 5 points
okay.
apiece. Ashley 5 points as well because she's involved in the fight too.
And then was it a separate one for Hughie and Ashley? Because that was a separate topic.
No, but if my thing is like if it's within the same like fight situation,
you already got points for it.
You already got points, but he does get points again for his second fight with Cory later on, but it's during
like
the elimination.
Yeah, no. So 5-5-5 for deliberation fight.
Yeah. Cory, Ashley, Hughie.
So
And Josh. Wait, no, that's later. That's later. I wrote that down, but that's for later. Never mind. Sorry. Take it back.
No problem.
That's for the very obvious Josh fight later.
Sweet. Yeah. So Hughie and Cory and Hughie. Okay, no, just we're adding Ashley. Yeah, that's all one. Sorry. I just put that the same as this. So one thing though that I thought was interesting was Emanuel in confessional says, if Michele goes home, I guess I'm going to have to find another. And I was like, damn it. This means that Michelle's going to go freaking home.
As soon as it happened, I was like, no, Michelle's going home. And then he starts hooking up with Tori.
Yes.
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought on that.
That's so brutal. Like, ew.
But I was just like, nail in the coffin there for him and Michele. Like, wanted to be like, pining away from Michele, and like, nope, like Tori's gonna swoop on in. He's like,
well, after she tried to bed and that didn't work out,
right? But like, he's fun. He's a good competitor. He's probably gonna last longer out of most of the rookies, and you know how Tori rolls. So, well, it seems like they're still together, I guess, or she's visiting him. So. Whatever, but I was just so irritated.
Seen this evidence. I stalked her Instagram today and I didn't see any evidence.
But... didn't I send you guys a picture of like her going to visit him?
Well, I didn't see them together. I don't know.
Okay, I didn't see them together either. But you don't really go visit somebody necessarily that you are just like friends with by yourself. But whatever. Annoyed. So after the deliberation, Ashley is complaining to Michele. And so when Ashley was complaining to Michele, I was like hoping, I'm like, okay, maybe this means that Michele stays, because we know that Michele has an Instagram live with her and what's her name? Amanda. And so I was like, maybe, because like, she's only been 4 episodes. So like we wanted to be there more time for them to build like a better friendship. So I was hoping, cross my fingers. Yeah. But then Hughie comes in crying, and I don't know if I love Hughie or hate Hughie, but he's a lot. He's a character. definitely a full character.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't know how to feel about him. He makes me uncomfortable. Sometimes he makes me laugh. Sometimes I'm like, oh, he's pretty interesting to watch. But
like even before the daily, he was just like screaming, "I can't do this! I can't do like what?"
That is getting old to me. That's getting old.
Do
To me.
it.
I don't.
If you can't do it, it's fine. But I don't want the good. I can't do it. I can't. Like then just sit down. Don't do it. I don't want to hear that for a long period of time. I'm sorry, Hughie. I appreciate you facing your fears here, but I don't want to hear it that much. Sorry.
Yeah.
So Fessy wants to throw in Amber B, and Josh is like, no. Oh, sorry. Are we already at the lair? Sorry, I didn't write that down. So at the lair, we see first Cory L and Michele are the compromised agents. They're going to be going down for sure. The first name that they say is Hughie's name, and that was pretty fine and normal. We expected that. And then Fessy decides to flip the script, even though Josh has said that this is not a good idea. Don't do this yet. It's not a good idea. She's his partner. She's Josh's partner right now. So there's no way that she would be able to do anything without Josh's okay. She's not going to pull like an Amanda and Zach, where like they can't agree on the person, so they're going to throw themselves in. Like neither of them are stupid enough to do that. So there's no way that while they're in a partnership, Amber is going to be throwing in Fessy at any time. Like at any time. So why he's so quivering in his boots? I'm just like, what's your problem? You're such a weak man. You're so weak. So they start fighting and yelling, and Amber gets in there. So those are where some of the fight points are coming from.
Yes,
so definitely Josh. Definitely
Josh, definitely Fessy, definitely
Amber. Definitely those three at that moment. And you see TJ's texting because it's just going on for so long. Like, who's he texting?
Awesome.
TJ.
That was awesome. Another thing, before I forget, this was like one of the first times in seasons that Tori's confessional made me cackle. She says, when Josh and Fessy are full on having a fight, she's like, oh my God, this is vet on vet crime.
I didn't even hear her say that.
I did not catch that.
It's good. It's good.
I was like, what? So funny. I was like, she hasn't made me laugh in years.
I don't know if she's ever made me laugh. I don't find her funny usually. That's true. Like,
what is this? Vet on vet crime? Hilarious.
Hilarious, absolutely. Now, I think it was Amber that says, Fessy, you're a snake. And then Esther is like, don't call my partner a snake. I'm like, Esther, get out of that. Like,
yes.
Get out of there.
That was my exact reaction. That was my exact reaction. I was like, don't die for this man. Like
back away. You do not want to. They will come for you.
She really feels as though because I mean, Esther's an honorable person. Like she really feels as though, okay, we're a unit and we're together. And it's like, Fessy doesn't give a shit about you. And you're going to find that out the hard way.
Yep. Definitely the hard way. So, Fessy does send Amber B down into the friggin' lair. What a pile of garbage. He's such a pile of garbage. So this was a really good challenge, I thought.
Wait, before you continue, sorry. I just had a thought. Remember 2 weeks ago when Fessy won and he said out loud when he announced, I could do this, but I'm gonna keep things, let's keep this peace offering. Let's keep this blah, 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 blah. Made a whole point to be that way, only to flip it the next time he fucking wins. Anyways, continue.
That's garbage Fessy. I think it's he can't have this power without doing anything with it. And he's so intimidated by Amber B, and he's scared because he was treated her like garbage. So like she has every right to come for him. Like honestly, like I'm making this comparison right now. No, I'm not gonna bother. I'm just thinking about just like racism in general. And it's like how the people, the oppressors are so scared that the people that they've been racist towards are going to be retaliating because they should. But like really the people that have been oppressed are actually just kind people that want just to be treated fairly and humanely. That's kind of how I'm feeling about this whole thing. It's like Amber didn't do anything wrong to you. You did something wrong to her. She sees how you were actually treating her on the show after watching it back, and she's the one that can't be trusted. It's only because she should want to get back at you for being such an asshole, but she's actually a kind person that's willing to forgive for the benefit of all of your games moving forward to working collectively as a unit, and you still think that she's threatening. It's just like, oh my god, sorry, I can't stand that guy. So this competition down in the lair was pretty good. They were handcuffed together to a pole that's kind of like in different shapes where you have to kind of go under and over. We usually see this type of thing with on Survivor, where they like have like a hook and they have to like draw the hook through, and they kind of run with attached with a carabiner or whatever. So we've seen something similar before, but I haven't really seen this on the challenge. I liked it, but I did not like how Cory and Michele were just falling behind from the get-go. And what? Go ahead.
It was one thing that made me laugh so hard in this elimination was when they like tried to stop it. Like when Michele was like, wait,
our carabiner is
broken. And then like everyone actually stops, and then they're like, wait, we don't have to stop. Like what was like Hughie was just like, just figure it out. And then I think that was like when they had the fight.
That's when they had the fight. But also like she's watched the challenge. You don't stop when something's unfair. Stop. It just benefits bananas. That's it. You just move along. Like,
and then it
happens all the fucking time.
Yes. And then it was so funny how like Amber does that after like when they drop the key, and she's like, wait. And I was like, a fucking theme. You can't just stop like just because you're like in peril. That's not how this works.
Yeah, and Cory just got so stressed when they thought the thing didn't work. Obviously, at one point after they dropped the key and stuff, Cory and Michele had refigured out how to move again and were making a little bit more progress. So it's like if you had just not yelled at Hughie for 10 years and stayed focused on what was in front of you, like watching them fight obviously was hilarious, but it was insane. Hughie was in the lead and stopped moving to yell at him when they're in the middle of the elimination. I was like, finish the elimination. Like I actually, even though at that point I was like, it's more satisfying at like in terms of the Fessy shit for Amber to win, even though I don't want to lose Michele. I literally was back and forth because even though they were losing it, I was like, yeah, like Michele and her positive attitude is probably not going to work out this time. Like it's, but then I was like, are they just going to lose because they can't reach this fucking key? Like, what the fuck? And they just stopping and yelling. It was just a full shit show. It was so funny.
So on edge, and with my mouth just hanging. I was like, what's happening here? And then I was like, the key drops. I'm like, wait, so Michelle's not going home? I'm like, they're gonna have to go all the way back. And then I don't know who called it out, but he does do the splits, and like he uses his like big toe to like drag the key over, and they were to get the key. At one point, Amber B does like a front tuck over the bar rail.
Flip! That was unreal. Like they were all out. They did not leave anything on the floor, included a fight. Like Hughie and Amber came to fucking play. They gave us an elimination. That was so entertaining, so funny. They pulled it out. It was awesome. Like it was an incredible win.
It really
was an incredible win.
I would say Cory and Hughie get 5 more points apiece for that fight.
Agreed.
So, yeah, because that was like 2 separate fights.
Yeah, those were 2 separate fights. So total, like, if you want, I can read out what I have written for total points. I have Fessy with 10 points. 5 for a daily and 5 for fight. Esther, I have 5 points. Michelle, I have 5 points for the makeout. Emanuel, 5 points. Amber, 20 points, because 10 for the elimination win, 5 for the fight, and 5 for the makeout. Jeremiah, 5 points. Cory, 10 points, the 2 fights. Ashley, 5 points. Hughie, 20 points, elimination win in the 2 fights. That's really killing it. And then Josh,
Wait,
Josh
20 points. Isn't it elimination win is 10 and then 2 fights?
And then 2 fights, so 20 points.
Sorry, I thought you said 10. No problem.
So my total is only fucking 15. So
really,
Josh needs to step up his fights. Like I know he's a good fight, but I want him to spread them out a little bit between some different scenes so that I can get more points.
So Michelle, you got 15 points this episode. How many did I get?
I got 25.
10 to 25.
Wait, would Kyle get 5 points for a fight? Because him and Devin fought.
We can give him 5 points.
We could do Devin and Kyle if you want. It wasn't like a full-on fight, but I feel like it's still kind of a fight. What do you think? I mean,
I'm honestly fine either way.
We can do it. It's fine.
Okay, we'll add it.
Right.
Okay.
I'll take it. I'll take points.
Then I got 20 points.
20, Devin. Kyle, 5. Okay, so I had Fessy. I had Manuel. Who else is here? I have Amber.
Yeah, you got a lot.
I have Cory. Oh, I have a lot of points. I have Ashley. But fucking, do you think you have my team, Fanta? Because I'm the one that's getting points here this episode. What are you talking about? I have Fessy, Emanuel, Amber, Cory, and Ashley. Unless I'm missing somebody that I forgot. Which is 10, 15, 35, 45, 50 points.
50 points. Wow.
Jesus. Who's the fourth person that you said on that list? Fessy, Emanuel, Michelle,
Ashley. Wait, what are you talking about? What?
You wrote down the order of the points. You said Fessy 10, Emanuel 5, Michelle 5. Who's the third person? Fourth person?
It was Esther.
Esther. I put Emy, and I'm like, I wasn't Emy. I know it wasn't Emy.
Yeah,
Thank
5
you.
5 points for Esther.
Do I have Esther as well? No, I had Tasha. Well, great job, guys.
Yeah, but like that second fight where like Hughie and Cory like really blow up, and like Cory pushes Hughie, and then like security has to come, and TJ like in the end is like, yeah, like Michelle and Cory, like you're both beasts, but like that was not cool. Like don't ever put your hands on somebody ever again. I was like, ooh, this got far. But then it was so highly emotional for the both of them because then they were both crying after.
I know. I mean, I wish that they'd figured things out before the deliberation. Like Cory was just trying to save his own butt. He wasn't necessarily trying to target the only other gay man. You know what I mean? Like he didn't really think about it. He thought he could someone that he could beat. I get that where he was coming from, and I feel bad that he kind of had to experience the end of his challenge season with kind of feeling shitty about what happened between him and Hughie. Like that was kind of sad for him and Michelle. But
yeah, that was kind of a bummer, but ultimately I do think it's I love that Amber won because it's just going to be like Amber versus Fessy now, and I love when she's mad. I love when
she just like she just performs, which is great.
It's so great. It makes her so fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with all the aftermath of this episode, they get to change partners. They both do not want to stay together. They want to choose someone else. And Ashley isn't shy. I love you, but like, don't pick me. Like, you're so not not obvious at all.
She has no filter, and I'm obsessed. Don't pick me. No.
Don't do it.
No. Not me.
And that's the thing. It's a lot of patience to every week be talking him through heights.
That's true.
I would be annoyed with it. I'd be like, I don't have.
You know who can deal with that?
Nany.
Nany. Who is the best person at dealing with hard personalities? Nany.
Nany.
Will she be able to tame him? Maybe not, but we'll find out.
I think Nany will be the Hughie whisperer. I think that he will be surprisingly better at challenge. I think that there was a fear that Ashley brought into Hughie that wasn't conducive for him to be performing well under pressure. So I think that Nany just being like, it's okay, and her being a lot better socially with how she interacts with people, it will allow Hughie to be in a better position. I think if he gets a really good friendship with her, Nany would protect him. She'd be like, no, don't throw my partner in. I don't want my partner to go in. So I think that it could be good for him.
And also, he's so smart to make that choice.
Yeah, very smart.
It's so smart. Let me pick someone who's not too much of a threat, that no one's going to want to necessarily steal her number one, but also she's so involved in the alliance, she's friends and connected to so many people. He picked the best person that he could pick for this point in the game. And
absolutely.
And it could be a step up for Nany, because honestly, Gabo just has popcorn muscles, as he said. And Hughie has shown that he's a really fast swimmer, that he's horrible with heights. Cool. That he's actually fast and can be smart and fast. He's just terrible with things he hates, and he starts fights in the middle of challenges.
But Nany is chill. So I think that she'll just chill him down. Ashley gets people riled up. Nany's like, no, it's okay, man. We're good. Don't worry about it. It's fine. As long as we're not last, it's cool. Yeah. And he'll probably be like, oh, okay, this is nice. This is different. So I'm happy that he made that choice. And then Amber B, with a lot of urging from, why is Josh saying this out loud? I was like, shh. But you see CT being like, pick her. Which is hilarious and smart too. I thought that picking Devin was the best choice for Amber, just because Devin is in the Bets Alliance. He's smart. I think that it would be good for her to be with him, so that maybe they could throw in a little bit of Josh versus Fessy here. Let's free them up a little bit.
Let's do Josh versus Fessy, but Josh has a better partner in the situation and wins. That would be poetic justice.
Well, Josh will have a better partner because he now is paired with Ashley.
True.
Which is great, because now you have a vet team together, which is, I don't know if they were specifically thinking this way, but maybe Devin and Fessy of it all were thinking no, choose us so we can get another rookie team to have as a target. So I thought that was smart, because Emy and Gabo, who cares, are now paired together. So
which is great.
The head shake, Fanta.
Throw them in.
Yeah, it's just so I'm like, who cares? Yeah. I mean, actually, I do. They're both on my team. I care now.
Yes, you care now. You want 10 points for them from going down into the lair and coming back victorious. But I don't know if they will. I just can't see them. What if they get something a little more complicated? Sometimes those lair things are complicated. I can't see them working together. They're going to have a double language barrier, which is if their common language is English and they both are not amazing at English, I think that they're going to have a lot of trouble. Maybe they'll find another language that they can both speak mutually better. But I'm I'm worried about their communication for sure. For sure. Who's going to be the leader of that team? Emy?
Yeah.
Yes, it'll have to be by default, because it's not Gabo.
Hi, Sean. So Sean says it might be awful, but I feel like Amber B is the most likable, rootable when she's a scorned, pissed off Amber B. We said it. We love when she's pissed. Come for Fessy. Now you actually, what he's been worried about, you actually get to do that. You're like, oh, you're worried about me? Yeah, you should be, because I'm going to go win and I'm going to throw you in and you're going to have to prove yourself and stay here. Sorry, I wasn't going to do it before, but I am going to do it now. Yes, I love it. I'm obsessed with that. He made the first strike, and I want her to get that revenge. I shouldn't want it too much, because I don't usually get what I want that much in these shows. So I don't want it at all.
It's gonna happen because especially in the preview we see her crying about it, being like, I was, you know what I mean, about it. And then I don't know, I'm trying to decipher the moment in the next on where it shows Kaycee being like, I care about you, but it's done. And you don't see who she's talking to, and then it pans to like Tori and a bunch of people, and they're all crying. But I don't know if I think they're probably unrelated moments.
I think so.
I don't know if she's talking about Nany, or if she's talking about like Fessy, or if she's talking about Josh, because she seemed to be really upset over how Josh was overreacting about Fessy. You know what I mean? That whole like Fessy Amber shit. Like Kaycee's confessionals was like, Josh, what's wrong with you? When it should have been like, Fessy, what's wrong with you? So I don't know what that moment was about, but I'm scared.
Well, it's going to be a misdirect, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember looking at it and being like, I don't know what they're talking about, so I'm not going to fully speculate because I have no clue. But I will watch within this week to see. There's going to be some sleuthers that are going to be like, okay, this is what we think happened here, and kind of taking a look at just dissecting that whole next on trailer. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see what happened. They've kept me in, even though I'm very disappointed that Michele is gone. I wanted her to do well. It wasn't really her game to win, just from how it started out. But I know that she's going to be back. So do you think that Cory L will also be back?
Yeah.
I can see them giving him a chance. I mean, he did push him, but how many times have they invited CT back and like all these people back?
They need to have strong rookies. It
would be a huge regret for them to like not bring Cory back for shoving when every single man on the show has shoved someone. Like,
no, I think that they will, because even TJ said it. Even TJ was like, I'm sure we'll see you in the future, but like, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Jessica says, I feel different ways about Hughie every episode, but I was definitely rooting for him in the elimination. I love a trash talker and an underdog. True. Like, it was very hard because like I was rooting for Hughie and Amber, like you both, just to stick it into Fessy. But I really wanted Michele to be on the challenge for longer. And by association, Cory as well. Like I liked Cory too, but more so I wanted Michele to be staying in there. I wish that it was something else that like I think Cory was just a little bit too big to be able to maneuver that together. And that's why like Fessy might have done terribly on that one, because he's even probably bigger than Cory. So it was just unfortunate that they got that one. I'm sure if they had the other one, I wonder how they would have done on, Amber would have probably been good on that too. The polls from last week. I think they would all have done pretty well on that. Maybe not Hughie. I don't know. Oh, Michele, Chantal, and Fanta for Survivor, like us playing Survivor. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I could actually do it. I'll audition if they put me on the show. I'd go and play, but
that's one that I could never ever do.
Bye, Dan. Thank you for being here. You are amazing. I love the dedication to the challenge. Yes. You guys are awesome. Was there anything else that happened on this episode that we didn't talk about? About like Cory like thinking, he's a snake. Like that's his storyline now. Oh, that's something that's funny. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, keep going.
One thing that is find interesting, like looking at the poster of Spies, Lies, and Allies, all of the people that are the faces have done nothing this season.
Of course.
Cory, CT, Nany, Big T's on there, but she's quite quiet if you compare her to the rest of the seasons. But everyone that's on there, like they're not creating any drama, they're not doing anything, and they're literally the faces of the season.
Well, maybe because they'll be there till the end. Maybe they're gonna have like longevity where they're gonna have to be the face of it because everybody else is gone.
Of course.
What I was going to say, though, that was funny, though, was with the conversation with Devin and Kyle in the beginning before their little mishap, when he was like, oh, I don't want to hear Cory's bullshit about, like, having a baby. I don't want to hear that. And Kyle's like, well, I'm having one, too. And he's like, okay, well, this is the last season where, like, I'm not going to be, like, you know, listening to your bullshit or whatever. I thought it was funny. Sorry, what were you going to say, Michelle?
I forget.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, that's pretty much it. Everything. Okay, so Jessica thinks that Kaycee might be talking to Josh. What was said again?
Too.
What was said again, Michelle?
She says, I care about you a lot, but I'm done.
Yeah, maybe she comes for, like, maybe he fights, and he wants to protect Amber. Like, why would she be done? What could he do?
If Josh like lays his hands on Fessy, maybe, or I don't know.
Slash, like, who cares? Like, bonus. Like, yeah. Bye, Kaycee. Sorry, I know you like her, Nany, but, like, not a fan. No. So Terrence says, I would love to see how long this game of hot potato with Devin will last. I like it too. I like Devin, even though he messed up a bit this episode. He's still one of my favorites. Natalie also says we saw Fessy and Josh in the trailer getting into a fight in the house. So yeah, I mean, they're walking back to the house for a fight. Like, that's probably the beginning of the episode, is a fight. Can't imagine it any other way. Unless they wait until they go to like the club night and coming back from a club when they have some booze in them. But I feel like a fight's happening for sure. Because I thought it was going to be this episode that the fight was going to happen. But it looks like it's going to be next episode. Well, my lovelies, thank you so much for being here to talk about this fun episode. Everybody in the chat, you guys are amazing as well. Staying up till 5 a.m. just to chit-chat about The Challenge, our favorite reality TV show. Ladies, you guys have anything that's going on that you want to let the people know about? And silence. Fanta, you do have something. No? Do you want to share or no? I'll put it in the...
Oh, yes. I do have to send you a donation link. We are doing a charity fundraiser this month for All Out. Is an organization that helps fight for LGBTQ plus rights all over the world in places where it is illegal and or punishable by death in some cases if you do identify as LGBT plus. So we've started organizing it. We've kind of just gotten our donation links. So there's just a couple of stages of things that we need to do. I will share that. We'll give that to Chantel. And anything helps, even if it's just $1 that you can donate. That's greatly appreciated. They really do incredible work all over the world. And I'm just in awe that I get to work with them.
It's awesome. Great cause. And I'm impressed about, you being a philanthropist over here. It sounds awesome though. I will definitely put that link everywhere that I can. Nicole says, bye. See us next week. Bye, Nicole. You're the greatest. And yes, Natalie, they do both watch Big Brother, but Fanta's not necessarily up to date, and Michelle doesn't necessarily watch the episode, but is up to date with the content.
Yeah, I watch the feeds every day, or read the feeds, and I just get really annoyed, and until I don't have to see Sarah Beth anymore, I just really don't want to watch the show. And that's just my opinion, based on reading the feeds every day. I haven't been watching the show, so I could be wrong.
You're not wrong.
But reading the things that she says and reading her behavior, I know I would just be gagging watching it. I can't watch it until
I'm just happy that Brittany's gone.
Yeah, Brittany was a little bit much to handle. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Please do us a favor, subscribe. Let us know in the comments. Also, what do we want to know about? We want to know, who do you think Kaycee's talking to in this trailer for next week? I want to know your super sleuthing opinions. No spoilers, please. But if you have an idea as to what you think is happening, people crying, all that jazz, let us know your thoughts on what's going on in this particular episode. Like this video, and we'll see you next week.